Hey, what's going on, RC drivers? Welcome back to the channel. We've got something a little bit different for you guys today. It's not a basher, it's not a crawler, which is what you usually see here on the channel. It's a four-wheel drive electric competition buggy, and I'm really excited to show it to you, and I'm really excited to drive it because it's been a minute since I've raced four-wheel drive, and it's a really fun class. The cars are just so aggressive, and they really dart around the track. It's so much fun to wheel, but this new car has a lot of exciting features. It's the new Team Losi Racing 22X-4 Elite, and this car comes with a lot of the option parts that you would have had to buy aftermarket on the predecessor car. It's really cool. It's a full build-up kit. Let's go over to the workbench and check it out. So after 2 days of building, here's my 22X4 Elite buggy, and this kit went together really well. TLR has a great instruction manual, all the parts are bagged nicely and easy to find, and the fit and finish is really good. I'm especially impressed with the finish on the carbon fiber shock towers. Those are really nice. Now what sets this kit apart from its predecessor is this has about $130 worth of option parts that the Pro Team uses already included in the kit, and some of those parts are changed, I believe, like the shock towers. So this kit is really worthwhile getting if you're looking to get into buggy racing or you're looking to upgrade from a previous kit. I didn't have the 22X4, so I'm going to do my best to tell you some comparisons based on what I read on the website. My last 22 buggy was the 2.0 back there. That was a fun car to drive. I'm really looking forward to this one. Now let's get into some of these changes. Now first up, the body on here is the lightweight body. I sent mine out to Kustom RC Graphics for my paint scheme, and what is also really nice about this body is it comes pre-cut from the factory. Same with the rear wing and the front wing. You just basically have to bolt them on. I did go and cut down the wicker bill on mine, so it's low, but really nice that you don't have to do any cutting to that stuff because it does take a little while. Now I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but this is a full build-up kit that requires pretty much all the support gear. So you're going to need all of the electronics. You're even going to need wheels. This one doesn't come with wheels. You'll need tires, battery, obviously pinion gear, paint, and building tools. And if you've never built an RC kit before, you're looking to get into building, I wouldn't suggest this kit because it requires some special tools that a experienced racer, experienced driver, experienced enthusiast would have, such as a 0.9mm hex driver, thin needle nose pliers to get the nut on the bevel pinion, and just some general knowledge that racers have when they're building a kit. So if you're looking to get into racing, maybe I'd suggest starting with a two-wheel drive, or maybe even the 22 roller that I have back there that I keep teasing. We're gonna have that on the channel really soon, but you do need some experience with this kit. Now with that said, let's move on to some of these changes here. Now up front we have a new shock tower. This new shock tower has new mounting positions for the shocks, and it also has additional inner camber link positions so you could alter the roll effects on the car. It has the standard composite arms. We have the A, B, and C aluminum block, A, B, C, D aluminum blocks on here with the adjustable pills on the inside. Then moving outboard on the suspension, we have the aluminum caster blocks, and then the steering knuckles with the carbon fiber steering plates on there, which is really nice. They did make some changes to the steering. I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to get to the other suspension features here. Sway bar is included, and they do actually include titanium tie rods. Here's the tie rods that came with the kit. I went and put Lunsford titanium tie rods when I went and got the screw kit for it. So all these silver screws on here are titanium screws. These are aftermarket. They don't come with the kit. They come with the standard black hex hardware that you see on all the other TLR cars. So just because I was building this thing up, I wanted to get the hardware in so I didn't have to go and do it later. But let's go and pop the body off now so we can see the changes on the inside. I went and Velcroed the body onto my car. They do give you the optional body mount, so you could go and use body clips if you want to, but most people use Velcro, so so I went and did that. So let's look at the steering changes now. Pretty much the same bell cranks. We got the carbon fiber plate here. I believe the original one had 3 holes for the steering link. Maybe it had 2, but just wanted to point that out just in case. But here is the new Ackerman bar. It's aluminum now, ball bearing supported, of course, and it's got improved steering geometry. And then as you can see right above it, it now has this carbon fiber plate included for the front brace, which is a really nice addition. Now let me go and talk to you about the chassis. So here is the aluminum plate chassis. It does have these soft mud guards on there, and what's pretty neat about this chassis is you could go and move the motor mount position. So you can see these optional holes here. You can move the motor whole motor assembly and differential assembly forward to adjust your weight bias if you want to. The only thing is they don't give you the additional dog bones necessary to make that change, so that's something you would have to buy additionally. Okay, now up on the top side here, they have these soft composite pieces for the center brace that are captured on top with the carbon fiber plates. Those are really nice. I really just love the beveled edges on these carbon fiber plates. No more sanding new carbon fiber parts once you get the new kit. That's really nice that they went and did that. Here's the floating steering servo mount. The posts are aluminum, and it just mounts in the center here. This is the floating side of it. Really nice that they include that with the kit. And then back here we have a new battery mount setup. So before we had a rubber strap that went front to back here, we now have these swinging carbon fiber plates, and they include 2 sets of posts. So if you're running a low profile battery, they give you a low post, and I have this tall battery here, so I have the taller post inside, and then they give you additional shims so you can go shim up these tabs, and these just swing over to the side so you gain access to your battery front and rear. So that's a really easy to access battery system, seems to hold it down really well. And finally here on the chassis, I want to talk to you about the carbon fiber plates it includes for the speed controller and the receiver. So you can just see the receiver plate a little bit down there, and then here is the carbon fiber plate for the speed controller. So if you need to access those or remove those for any reason, you could just remove the 2 screws here, pull that out. It's just 1 screw for the receiver plate. So that makes maintenance nice and easy on this buggy. Now let me move to the rear suspension on here. We have a new rear shock tower as well. It gives you those additional mounting positions. The arms are the standard composite arms. You can see on the outside, the hubs have the adjustable aluminum top plates to them. Really nice hub setup. I like those. And they do give you aluminum washers throughout this kit for the spacing on any of the ball studs. So, you know, I believe that they use plastic on the original one. Nice that they give you aluminum here. And actually all of the retaining nuts are aluminum as well throughout the kit. So that helps lighten things up just a little bit. Now let's get to the shocks. These are the Gen 3 V2 shocks. They now include the aluminum top caps with them. These are a bleeder style shock. They do have the 3mm shock shaft in there, and just a really nice build on these shocks. Now let's get into the drivetrain. So we've got gear differentials front, center, and rear now, and they include all metal internals with them. So you've got the steel gears, the aluminum cross pins, the steel ring and pinion gear as well, of full ball bearings throughout, of course. I really like the drive shafts on here, the CV drive shafts with these cups on them that retain the pin. That's just really cool, love that. So they have that front, center, and rear as well. The spur gear is separate from the top cap of the center diff. They give you 2 spur gears in the kit, and they give you all the oils to build them as well, which is really nice. Love the aluminum sliding motor plate on here, makes pinion gear changes really, really easy. And overall, this car is really easy to work on. You could access the diffs really easily with just 4 screws in the front and in the center and the rear, actually. Oh, I forgot to mention, it even gives you a little carbon fiber top plate for the wing, the support plate there. Really nice kit, love this. Now I went and outfitted it with Tekin Electronics for the speed controller and the motor. I'm running a 13.5, an RS Pro speed controller, and then over for the steering servo, I do have a Spectrum 6245, plenty of torque and speed. And then for a battery pack, I went to Team New Wave, got a 5,000 milliamp 2-cell pack from them. Thanks for the hookup, guys. You could get this at RC Madness, and same with this cooling fan here. This is an RC Madness cooling fan mounted on the optional cooling fan plate. So now this blows air directly onto the motor. They still give you the other fan mount, so you can mount it to the rear of the motor if you do want to go ahead and do that. But I like this position. I actually forgot about this when I was building it, just put it on now. But again, really great kit. The only issue I had with this kit when building it up was the rear drive shaft seemed to bind a little bit when I put the cross pin in, and it actually did it in both drive shafts. So I kind of had to press it in with some pliers, It seemed to bind a little bit, so I'm gonna see if it wears in on its own, or you know, if I do have to go and replace that, and I'll definitely let you guys know after testing it. But it is time to go out and drive this thing. Can't wait. I'm gonna head up to RC Madness and hit the turf track. All right, drivers are gonna walk through a few laps with the Elite. And man, I have been missing four-wheel drive. I just love how aggressive four-wheel drive buggies are. Look at that, full throttle around the corner, yeah. It's been a long time since I've driven it. But man, I'm picking it right back up. A little slide around the rear, that's really good. A little wide on the pipe. Full throttle on the brake, there we go. Just right back down. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of lean in the rear of this thing. I don't have the exact setup on it that I want. I got a partial Dakota fend setup on it, and I'm missing the rear springs and the rear pistons. But I'm getting around the track pretty well, getting a good feel for this thing. Whoa. Man. It is really stable. Look at that thing. Just put it wherever I want to on the track. I love that corner. Man, this thing is just so good. Getting a little crazy with it, but just getting used to it. Really love the feel of this thing. Yeah, a lot of lean in the rear of that car. Gotta check that, get that tuned in, but that is for another day. Just nice and plush. Look at that. Wherever I want to put this thing, lots of steering, on and off power steering. Those wide front Proline tires, they've got some grip to them. A little air under the car there, a little windy here today, but man, full throttle, yeah. Check it up, back on the ground. Ooh, just hammering on it. All right, guys, I think that wraps it up. Let's head back to the workshop and wrap up this review. All right, so let's just touch on a few more driving characteristics here. You know, I found this buggy to be a lot more nimble than my previous experience with the 22X-4 2.0. Yes, I know that was an older car, but you know, with that car, I felt that was an aggressive car, but it was really edgy. Where with this one, I felt a lot more comfortable ripping this thing through the corners at full throttle. And you know, it was a little bit tame. I do have to go up in gearing. I think, you know, I might have to make a few other tweaks to get this thing thing up to speed, but you know, I was really just able to comfortably control this thing through the corners. I found the steering to be pretty neutral. The tire selection, I probably need to change that up a bit, and a big part of driving a race car is the tires. A pro driver once told me years ago, tune your car with tires and then tweak everything else after that, and that's the case here. I do think I need to make a tire swap on this car, both front and rear. I also need to dial in the rear suspension, like I said, because there's just too much roll in the rear. And again, this is kind of like a dirt setup, so I understand that, you know, you gotta obviously make some changes for your particular track. I didn't have the parts on hand. They weren't in the hobby shop that I needed, but I was able to get a good feel for this buggy. And I mean, it's just a fast, easy to drive buggy. And we knew that about the 22X-4 when you went and put the aftermarket parts on, the optional parts on it, which this car has in it. So this is, again, pretty much set up to be a pro level car right out of the box. And you know, you might need to grab, you know, some pistons, some springs and stuff, depending on the type of track that you're gonna run on. I might go and try the slipper clutch for it, grab that. But you know, this is a great car. There is still a little bit of bind in the rear drive shafts. I went and took it apart, and I did change the plunge on it. I didn't use the factory setup. I went a little bit deeper on the plunge, and maybe that hole is just drilled offset a little bit, and maybe that's the reason for my bind, and it's actually stuck in there now, so I'm gonna have to try some tricks to get the pins out. So I didn't try it in the other holes. I apologize for not reporting on that, but that's the only problem I really found with the car. I like the cooling fan being over the motor. I ran this thing beyond 5 minutes, and the motor did stay pretty cool. The temperature was within the proper range. You know, plenty of steering on this thing, just nice aggressive feel when you needed to. The landings off of some of the jumps, I did pop the car back up, but again, I do need to make a few tweaks, and that's what racing is all about, is tuning your vehicle to get the most out of it. But this is a awesome buggy. I really love it. I can't wait to drive it some more. You know, I did scratch up the shock caps, unfortunately. Maybe a shock tower protector at least would have been nice, because I did mar up my carbon fiber shock towers on the last lap, flipping it over on the front straight onto the concrete, which was a bit of a bummer. But other than that, I did have some hits with it, and you know, no broken parts to report or anything like that. It all trims out. The car feels nice and balanced. Really, really cool kit. If you're looking for a new race buggy for this season, you gotta check out the Elite Buggy. It comes with everything you need as far as the option parts. I think, you know, again, I gotta go get the slipper clutch, try that out. But let me know what you think about the buggy. If you're gonna go race one this season, let us know in the comments section below. While you're down there, check out the video description for links, hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell, throw the video a like, and we'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.